Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we talked about this in the past. I was told by media members and colleagues that it's an open secret. Anfernee Simons is from Central Florida. He wants to return to Central Florida. Guess what team needs a scoring guard? The Orlando Magic. And from my understanding is they would want like a yin yang with Jalen Suggs being the defensive guy and Simons being the offensive guy. I bet you a guy like Colin Sexton would be the backup option or some offensive player like that. But I think Anfernee Simons is the best option for Orlando. And the way I view it is, look, let's go ahead, do Cole Anthony, Jonathan Isaac, and maybe whatever young guy Portland wants or draft pick. But that's what I think the package would be based around. And I know Portland fans are going to be like, that's terrible. First off, I think Jonathan Isaac can be the defensive anchor off the bench that they can either flip as a trade asset down the bench, or they could use him the same way Orlando did as a stability off the bench. While Cole Anthony, they can flip, or, he can be Scoot Henderson's backup. And for Portland, I think the biggest thing is you have to understand Anfernee's making 27.6 next year. And if Orlando can give you, which Orlando is able to either, and I think they would want to keep Contavious, but Jonathan Isaac, Cole Anthony, that's 28.1. And the only other way I see a deal being done is Gary Harris. I still think it would be Cole Anthony, maybe Corey Joseph and Caleb Houston. That's the only other deal. So Portland fans, would you rather have Jonathan Isaac, Cole Anthony, and draft capital, or Caleb Houston, Corey Joseph, Gary Harris, and Cole Anthony, and maybe the same draft capital? So I think the open secret is the Anfernee Simons wants to come to Orlando because he's from the area, and Orlando is intrigued or is equally mutually interested in him because he does kind of fit what they need, which is shooting and an offensive player. And if you think about it, Cole Anthony with Jonathan Isaac makes the money work, or Cole Anthony and Jet Howard or whoever else you want. You can make the deal work around a Cole Anthony package, and then you'll be able to have like a yin yang of offensive defense with Jalen Suggs and Anfernee. And then if Jalen keeps getting hurt, you have Anthony Black as like the insurance policy. Now let's just get right into all of this, break it down. What do I think? I do think it's a situation that it's interesting because for a team that I think it was way better than what their record showed, they had a problem in terms of not being able to space the floor. And the team's identity is an elite defense. They're first in blocks, sixth in steals. They're suffocating. They suffocate you. However, they suck on offense, guys. They're 27th in scoring, 30th in assists, 30th in three-point percentage. We have the building blocks. All right, we got Banchero. He's going to be around for a while. He went from a 26 point per game score in the regular season to a 30 point per game score in the postseason. Franz, same thing. He's a guy that 24 points, 26. Like, we're going to be a team that's under the first apron by 25 million, but we're over the cap 9.7. We'll have some room to play with, and we have multiple minimum deals available and 13 players on team-friendly contracts of $2 to $23 million. As of right now, obviously that the number's going to go up, but like with Franz and Paolo. But obviously I think we've done a great job at putting together a good core that's cheap, or I think financially flexible. And then going into the draft, we'll have 2 firsts and 2 seconds and 6 first rounders to trade and 13 second rounders to trade. So with our core basically being under contract, I think the biggest thing for us is looking at obviously Gary Harris, Wagner, and Corey Joseph are all guys. Mo Wagner, by the way, I need to clear that one up. Is making sure we have the guys on our bench that are going to be healthy, that are going to be able to elevate this team, because that's what's going to have to happen. This is a team that needs some more playmakers to move the ball. They need some more shooting. Like Contavious Caldwell-Pope was the right direction last offseason. We need some more of that. We need to trade for guys like that. The scoring stagnates outside of Banchero and Wagner, and that's partially because there is no playmaking. Like, no offense to Cole Anthony and Jalen Suggs, Anthony Black's like the only pure floor general. Like, Cole Anthony and Jalen Suggs are both more combo guards with point guard like skills, I would say. And I don't have a problem with that. You just need to have some more creators, which then allows you to take advantage of the minutes that are, terrible without Banchero and Wagner on the floor. And I know that part of this was because Mo wasn't there this year because I was actually at the game that Mo blew out his knee. I feel so bad. And the 105 points per game is terrible. No player averaged 5+ assists. And it's kind of crazy to think about that, like, Markelle Fultz was kind of like a microwave off the bench for them, and it actually really worked. And Goga Bitadze was fine, but Goga Bitadze, if he's your backup, you need a more dominant center than Wendell Carter, or you need another backup center to help Goga Bitadze, because with Mo Wagner coming back from injury, I think those minutes, you needed another offensive guy, because Goga Bitadze and Jonathan Isaac was too much defense, like just rebounding and defense, and just like those two guys aren't really scorers, and Mo was like the scoring option that you had. And to me, that was the biggest thing that they were missing. So yeah, I'm just curious to hear your guys' thoughts on that one, because they were a team that definitely could have benefited from adding a 6-man scorer. Like Naz Reid would be really cool. Obviously, it's not going to happen, but just that idea. Or in the draft, I know they drafted also Tristan DeSilva, but he's more of a combo forward. So you got to restructure the guard rotation. We're valuing Cole Anthony, Suggs, Black's long-term fit. You got to target some shooters and playmakers, and continue to build around this defensive identity, maintaining that top-tier rim protection, perimeter defense, but find some offensive upgrades without compromising your core defensive system. So let's look, what we're looking at in the draft: high IQ players, shooters, stretch bigs, and versatile forwards. So with them holding 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks, and this being a deep crop of players that outside the top 2 picks, I think that there's just like a lot of parity. They need to address their core weaknesses, playmaking. I want to hear your guys' thoughts if you guys agree. Peace out.